So the WNBA expansion draft is happening soon, and every team has already submitted the players that they have.
So, lads, this is wild. The Indiana Fever just lost access to their social media accounts. Well, temporarily. A single post, which has now been deleted, basically leaked their entire draft strategy. And get this, it happened right after Caitlin Clark's draft, which drew in 6.2 million viewers. This leak couldn't have come at a worse time, especially with the Golden State Valkyries, the NBA's newest franchise, ready to poach top talent. They're valued at a massive $122 million. And now Indiana's front office is in full lockdown after that post disappeared. Anxiety is through the roof as the November 25th protection deadline approaches. The leaked roster is a total bombshell. But here's the kicker. They left out a crucial player. Seriously, is this the biggest front office blunder since the Elena Del Don trade back in 2017? Complete catastrophe.
So lads, the Indiana Fever might be making a huge mistake. Again, this is a might because you just never know. You never know when it comes to things like this because you don't know how players pan out. You don't know. Maybe you're overrating a player, maybe you're underrating a player, but it's always kind of hard to tell when it comes to your...
So, before we dive any deeper into this massive story, let's break down what's actually happening. The WNBA expansion draft isn't your typical draft. It's a rare event that literally holds the future of the Golden State Valkyries franchise in its hands. The Valkyries will officially join the league in 2026, and they're looking for top-tier talent. Under WNBA rules, teams can only protect 6 players, leaving everyone else vulnerable to being picked up by the new team. And this is where things get really interesting. For just a few hours on November 12th, right before the protection deadline, the Indiana Fever's social media team posted what seemed like an innocent photo. Coach Stephanie White was proudly standing alongside 6 players, a lineup that just happened to include exactly 6 names. The post disappeared within 45 minutes, but not before sharp-eyed fans took screenshots and flooded the WNBA community in a frenzy. Now, let's talk numbers for a second. The Fever's market value skyrocketed by 47% after drafting Caitlin Clark. Merchandise sales hit record highs, with Clark's jersey becoming the best-selling rookie jersey in the WNBA. Season ticket renewals? Up 300% from last year. The leaked picture showed Clark front and center, alongside Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, Temi Fagbenell, and Nalissa Smith. Together, those 6 players account for a $146,000 cap hit for the 2024 season. But here's the worst part. Grace Berger, a promising guard on a team-friendly rookie deal, wasn't in that lineup. That omission sent shockwaves through the league. Industry insiders are also buzzing about Nalissa Smith's situation, especially after the controversial eye poke incident that blew up on TikTok and led to tension in practice and the locker room. Choosing to protect Smith over younger, cheaper talent has raised serious questions. One anonymous league executive even said this could be the kind of decision that haunts a franchise for the next 4 years. And the timing couldn't be worse for Indiana. The Fever just made their first playoff appearance since 2016, and attendance has soared by 67% since Clark joined the team. The pressure to keep that momentum going is enormous, especially with the Valkyries lurking in the background. Speaking of the Valkyries, they're no ordinary expansion team. They're backed by Silicon Valley investors, building a cutting-edge arena in Oakland, and have committed $50 million in initial funding, making them one of the best-financed expansion franchises in women's sports history. And the expansion draft rules? Brutal. Each team can only protect 6 players. The Valkyries can pick 1 player from every existing roster, but only 1 unrestricted free agent in total, forcing teams to be extremely strategic about who they safeguard while balancing current stars and future prospects. The stakes couldn't be higher for the Fever. After years of rebuilding, they finally struck gold with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. Now they're facing the real possibility of losing key supporting pieces. Essentially, that leaked post gave the Valkyries a free sneak peek into Indiana's internal strategy, letting them perfectly prepare their own draft plan. Now, let's break down each player from that leaked photo. Caitlin Clark, a no-brainer. She's averaging 21.4 points per game, leading the league in assists, and has already shattered 3 rookie records. Her impact goes far beyond the court, Fever game ratings are up 56% since her debut. Aaliyah Boston, the former Rookie of the Year, is another lock. She's putting up 16.8 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks per game. Her chemistry with Clark has been electric, and their pick-and-roll combo is one of the best in the league. Kelsey Mitchell provides veteran leadership and consistent scoring. She's in the final year of her contract, but team sources say Indiana plans to use her essential designation to keep her in-house. With 18.2 points per game and 42% shooting from deep, she's critical to their spacing and offense. Lexi Hall's inclusion might surprise casual fans, but the numbers back it up. She holds the best defensive rating among all WNBA guards at an incredible 92.4, and she's improved her three-point shooting significantly. When she's guarding someone, opponents shoot only 34% from the field. She's the kind of glue player championship teams rely on. The Real debate begins with Nalissa Smith. Her raw talent is undeniable, averaging 12.4 points and 7.3 rebounds per game with an 18.2 player efficiency rating. But off-court issues have been a distraction. The practice I poke led to a 3-game suspension that cost Indiana key playoff matchups. Her social media posts reportedly caused internal friction, with 3 veteran players requesting private meetings with the coaching staff. Several sources say that at least 3 teams, including the Las Vegas Aces, have already asked about potential trade deals. Finally, Temi Fagbenel is the biggest wildcard. She brings veteran presence, but her numbers have dipped dramatically since mid-season. She's averaging 5.2 points and 4.1 rebounds over her last 15 games, down from 8.7 points and 6.3 rebounds earlier in the year. Opponents are shooting 47% in the paint against her, up from 38% previously. Some WNBA analysts believe her inclusion could be a smokescreen, a diversion hinting at a bigger move coming.
If I was the Indiana Fever, I would genuinely want to protect Grace Berger. Because I think Grace Berger I think in the modern WNBA, Grace Berger is going to be such a...
But here's what's really keeping Fever players and fans up at night: Grace Berger. She's shown flashes of brilliance as Caitlin Clark's backup shooter, knocking down an impressive 44% from three-point range. In limited appearances of over 20 minutes, she averaged 9.2 points and 4.8 assists, with a solid plus-minus of plus 5.2. League scouts see her as a potential starting guard, and one Eastern Conference executive even compared her skill set to Courtney Vandersloot. Leaving her unprotected could seriously come back to haunt Indiana for years to come.
A 95% chance the Golden State Valkyries select Grace Berger. She is young. She's like 24 maybe? She is a 6-foot-tall point guard. She can shoot the ball. She led the W in three-point percentage 2 seasons ago. And she's also can handle. She can pass.
All right. The Golden State Valkyries front office and analytics department are practically salivating right now. Former NBA executives who once helped run the Golden State Warriors have been preparing for this expansion draft for months, building an exclusive scouting system that combines traditional stats with advanced analytics. They've got $5.7 million in capital ready to absorb bigger contracts, plus a marketing machine strong enough to turn role players into stars. According to sources close to the Valkyries, they've already identified 3 potential franchise cornerstones from the most likely pool of unprotected players. And let's talk money. The NBA's new TV deal is expected to kick in next season, potentially doubling the WNBA salary cap from $1.4 million to $2.8 million. That means unprotected players could see their market value skyrocket. For young talents on rookie contracts like Grace Berger, those deals become even more valuable as teams scramble to manage their cap space efficiently. The Fever's social media mishap could end up costing them millions in future trade assets, essentially handing the league's newest powerhouse a major advantage. And the fan reaction? Pure panic. The team's Twitter mentions exploded with over 50,000 tweets in just 24 hours. Instagram engagement jumped 12%, and season ticket holders flooded the team's phone lines. One fan group even launched a change.org petition titled "Save Grace Berger," collecting 15,000 signatures in just 6 hours. Even Caitlin Clark's father chimed in with a cryptic tweet. "Moments of interest in Indy. Trust the process." It got 100,000 likes before he deleted it. Remember when the Detroit Shock lost their core in the 2009 dispersal draft, going from champions to barely making the playoffs after relocating to Tulsa? The Fever are walking that same tightrope now. One wrong move could erase years of careful rebuilding. The next 48 hours are absolutely critical, but insiders close to the team suggest there's more to this story. Rumors are swirling about potential three-team trades involving protected players and unsigned European draft prospects. International athletes currently playing overseas could completely reshape the picture. That deleted post might just have been the opening shot in a much larger plan for a full-scale roster transformation. The WNBA community is on edge waiting. Will Indiana stick with that leaked list? Or was it all a clever smokescreen to set up shocking last-minute changes? What happens to the unprotected players, and how will they react to being exposed? These decisions will shape not only the Fever's future, but also the entire competitive balance of the league for years to come. One thing's certain. The expansion draft just got a whole lot more interesting. Every franchise is watching Indiana's next move closely, while the Valkyries front office is likely working overtime, running every possible scenario. Agents are already burning up the phones, trying to get clarity for their clients. The ripple effects from this leak are massive. Looking at past expansion drafts makes this one even more explosive. During the 2008 Atlanta Dream expansion, teams that accidentally revealed protection data early received an average of 2.3 trade offers for their exposed players before the official list submission. But today the stakes are far higher. The Fever's merchandise sales have climbed 32% since drafting Clark, meaning every roster decision now carries multi-million-dollar consequences. Sports betting markets are reacting too. Las Vegas odds for the Fever's 2025 championship run dropped from plus 800 to over plus 1,200 just hours after the leak went viral. Analysts cite roster uncertainty as the main reason, because the market hates instability, and this leak created plenty of it. And then there's the psychological toll. Sports psychologist Sarah Martinez, who works with multiple WNBA teams, explains that being publicly labeled as expendable can deeply damage morale, team chemistry, and on-court performance. Training sessions following the incident have reportedly been tense. One observer noted far less player interaction than usual. Some players appeared distracted or reluctant to fully engage. The organization has now scheduled private consultations to help players refocus. The global angle only adds more complexity. 3 major European teams have already reached out to representatives of potentially unprotected Fever players, hoping to lure them overseas. Turkish powerhouse Fenerbahçe has allegedly made significant offers to any exposed talent. Media coverage of these international opportunities has now spilt into mainstream outlets, with many framing it as a cautionary tale about social media management in professional sports. Even corporate sponsors are alarmed. One of the Fever's major jersey sponsors, a major healthcare organization, has reportedly called an emergency meeting with team executives. Their multi-million-dollar annual deal includes performance and stability clauses that could be affected by major roster disruption. Local businesses around Gainbridge Fieldhouse are nervous too. Maria Rodriguez, who owns a restaurant that sees a 40% boost in revenue on game days, said, "We built our business around Fever home games. Any threat to the team's success hits us directly." Merchandise vendors are also feeling the impact. Their holiday season projections were based on roster stability, with Clark's jerseys alone expected to generate $3.2 million in December sales. The uncertainty has already forced some retailers to scale back their orders, WNBA executive Jim Thompson put it bluntly. The reason this leak is so damaging is that teams usually have back-channel talks about protection strategy. Indiana just lost all of its leverage. Meanwhile, social media engagement has reached record levels. TikTok creators have generated over 50 million views of Fever-related content in the last 24 hours. Fan theories range from reasonable to wild, with some even speculating the leak was a deliberate marketing ploy. The team's PR department is in overdrive. Emergency focus groups with season ticket holders are underway to gauge fan sentiment. Early feedback shows a 50-50 split between those who support the apparent plan and those calling for change. Youth basketball programs tied to the Fever are also feeling the shock. Local coaches report young players asking questions about loyalty, contracts, and the business side of sports. Kids look up to these players, says AAU coach Marcus Williams. Now they're learning the tough side of professional basketball. Other WNBA teams are watching carefully. The outcome of this situation could influence how every front office approaches expansion strategy moving forward. Sports business analysts believe a successful draft by the Valkyries could redefine franchise building standards across women's sports. Even the Players' Union is watching closely. While they haven't released a formal statement, insiders say they're monitoring how the situation affects contract protections, which could lead to new clauses in the next collective bargaining agreement about roster security and digital communication policies. Digital security experts are weighing in too. There need to be multiple approval layers for team social media posts, says cybersecurity consultant Rachel Chen. No single person should have the authority to publish alone. Inside the Fever organization, tension is high. Security measures have been tightened.